Gotta get it fixed.
Ankle?
I'll be backpedaling pretty fast before you know it. Okay, very exciting day again in this new times in college football. This is obviously the earliest we've had this press conference, and signed a class, and everything went very smooth. So maybe we've been missing out for a lot of years, but things went very smooth, and we have 20 signees right now that I'm very excited about. We went to 12 different states. We signed 12 offensive players. It's going to be, 9, it's 11 right now, will be 12, and 9 defensive players. And so we have 20 in the boat right now. We anticipate one more coming in the next couple hours. And if it takes longer than that, that's fine, but I anticipate getting that done, and it'll be a big addition to the group we already have. So just collectively appreciate the work, once again, from our assistant coaches. These are relationships that have been formed sometimes within the last year. A couple, really strong additions in the last, couple months, and some, have been going on for a long time, years, as I mentioned. So, been a lot of work by a lot of people, and very good people, very good players, and it excites me to add them to the class, to our team. And, as you know, the year didn't go the way we wanted it to, and I have been working around the clock to try to build the team for the future. And these 20, hopefully soon to be 21, will be a big part of that as we move forward, and a great foundation. I think everybody looks at, we all know we want a better football team next year, and I think there are players on here that will help us. How many? We will see. That's up to them and the work that they do between now and their arrival time, but they're very good players, very athletic guys, and some difference makers. I'd like to congratulate Quiz, from Danville there, being the Horning Player of the Year. We're excited about adding him along with all the other guys. So it's a good group. What's going on with the program? There's going to be a lot of questions right now, guys, and there's so many moving pieces that I really will keep that short, but I will just say this, very optimistic, very excited about the core, building this team from the core of guys that we have here, and then obviously adding these players, and then hitting the portal as well. But it starts with the great players that we have in our program. There will be some names on there that we don't want to lose. And, I told you I anticipated that. That's part of it. I don't think there's a team in college football that's not going to lose a few guys that they want on their team. But there's going to be so many players in the portal. It's almost, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be, for the players, I hope it all works out, because there's going to be so many players in this portal. Just talking to my colleagues, throughout the business. But, that's good and bad. So I'd like to keep, again, my concentration has been the quality, the really good people, the really good players in our program. We know we need to build that foundation with them, and then branch out from there.
Well, you mentioned there are guys in spots who could help you next year. How do you gauge that when you're assessing your portal needs? Because obviously you don't want to put too much pressure on the freshmen right away.
Agree.
Do we need somebody at this position or not? Maybe a freshman can help us there.
I think, the players see opportunity sometimes, and so, that may help you, with some difference makers, and then it's up to them. That is, a fine line, because, sometimes guys come out of nowhere, that you maybe thought you knew, or you wouldn't sign them if you didn't know they were a very good player, but they're ready sooner than you thought. And sometimes vice versa, and sometimes those are the conversations you're having with guys that maybe want to leave. It's like, hey, back in the old days, we really, developed, and you're on track, and you're going to be a really good player, but sometimes they just want to go play right now, and that's okay. Guys that, that are in our developmental phase, but they want to go be the guy somewhere, that's that is their decision, and that's just the changing landscape, and we're totally okay with that. You know, continuity is very important, but in today's world, you know, you got to do the best you can year to year. And let's be honest, we didn't have a very good year, so I'm pretty excited about change. You know what I mean? We need some positive change. You know.
Mark, you've talked a lot about, especially defensive backs, a lot of just instincts. Does Martell's Carter, does he have
He
those?
does. He does. He's a guy that I do believe he could play, you know, and play early. You know, I like his instincts. I like his demeanor. You know, I like his athleticism. You know, he is a guy that I have on my mind that you know, could come in and play.
So how do you fast track that for somebody he's playing here Friday?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
To playing in the
Yeah.
SEC like that?
Yeah. It's going to be a fast process. So they changed the rule. I'm not allowed to watch him Friday, so you let me know how he does. But no, it's going to be fast turnaround for a lot of these guys. We have somebody we're I cannot talk about him. No. Let's take that back. Cam Miller is playing tonight. For a state championship in New Jersey, which is an odd night to be playing for a championship. I said, big day for you. You sign basically the new national letter of intent and go play a state championship game. So we wish him luck tonight.
Keeping quarterbacks is harder than ever in this day and age, which you know you had to replace your whole room last year. It looks like they're going to have 3 either redshirt freshmen or true freshmen on the roster at that position. How do you balance that for the future? And you need an older guy to...
Yeah, I think we have to go get one, you know what I mean, just to have some stability, you know, in there. Because when you're counting on the 2 true freshmen coming in, I just haven't seen them yet. You know, not at all. I mean, you know, we've watched them throw and believe in them, or we wouldn't sign them. But you know, I think we all know you need to have at least 2 or 3 quality quarterbacks, you know, to be on your roster.
4 tackles and 4 defensive linemen, a lot of big players with physical traits.
Yeah.
Is this something you're trying to put an emphasis on, casting a wide net, so you don't have to go for these rare positions in the transfer portal as much?
Absolutely. It's in there, develop, you know, guys that, you know, you just want to bring these big guys in. Yeah, like, you know, that's something that, you know, you've seen us in the past, and everybody that's, you know, played us and coaches have commented, we've always been a big physical team, and I didn't always feel that this year, you know, whether it be injuries or, you know, just things happen. Sometimes we're not at full strength, but, you know, we got to have those physical traits, and you got to have some length.
You talked about Eric Wolford's ability to get players. What do you think about this offensive line, particularly Stray?
Yeah, Stray is a guy that we've loved from the beginning, and you know, he's just a great, you know, person. He's got a great personality, very athletic, has the size that we're looking for. So you know, he's another guy that we're very excited about. But yeah, I mean, you know, we're you know, working hard to get the O-line fixed, you know, for next year and for the future.
Coach, you guys ended up not able to bring a running back in this class. The room got kind of thin due to injuries and a few other things this past year. Does that affect how you approach that position in the portal, or does it just make you reevaluate? Just talk about that position.
Yeah, I think you know that you know, we you know, with Jamarion having such a good year, you know, as a true freshman, and JP, you know, is a guy that showed a lot of ability that we liked all through preseason, and then in the 4 games that he played, you know, so we have a lot of confidence in those 2. You know, I feel like you know, that Chip, you know, wants to come back, and you know, he should be at full strength, and then you know, we can also go add there's a lot of running backs in the portal. And it's not even open yet, by the way. But I think we all know. And, you know, there's just there's a lot of players out there. You know, you know, so we'll have the option to go get some too.
Mark, you mentioned Quisenberry at the top there. It seemed like maybe that was kind of a slow play. He's always going to face questions about his size. What about him finally convinced you guys?
It's not finally. We always have watched him. You know, he's a player that's not afraid to come over here and camp and compete. You know, and so, you know, I just think his versatility, his toughness, you know, just his overall athletic ability, I just wanted him on our roster.
Vince has brought in tons of tight ends over the years. Is Skinner, how does he maybe stack up to some of those guys? Or?
He's probably different. Vince is over there. I guess the big dog could come up here and talk next because I'll be glad to step off. But Mikel he's different, I would say. When Vince can talk about him in a minute, but he's different. He's a different build. He's a different skill set. He's a guy that's a great mismatch. He's the type of player that could line up as a wide receiver. And it's important to be able to be multiple that way. Where you could have a guy that if you could put a defense in conflict, whether it's 11 personnel or 12 personnel, and he kind of fits that mold, and we'll see where his body goes. But he's a very athletic guy.
At this point, are you guys pretty set on where you think the roster is going to be in terms of guys at least going out at this point? Or are you
No. I think there'll be a couple. I think there'll be some guys that go in that hurt. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. But again, I'm very confident in getting the roster right.
More so, do you have a sense already of where that stands?
Yes.
Not necessarily announced, but
Yes, yeah, I do, and it's fluid. It's fluid. It's going to change. I've met with all day, every day, and still have more to go. But met with a good core group of players already. Coming through my office, and still have some more to go.
Where can you compare the skill set of the two quarterbacks in this class?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Stone. There's so much film on him. He's thrown for so many yards. He should break the record. I don't know if he plays Friday or Saturday. Friday. Yeah, so he'll probably break the all-time yards in Pennsylvania. I think he already has the touchdowns, and so he's just got so much good film out there, and just a ball player, and so he's just a guy, it just doesn't take long to put on the film and just like the way he plays ball, and obviously throwing for that many yards and that many touchdowns, he could distribute the football. And then Brennan is a guy that he came into camp and we watched in person, and I don't, no disrespect, I don't mean this in a bad way, but he probably didn't play on as good as a team, and but was impressive with a skill set in person.
It looks like you're probably headed for a 7th wide receiver coach in 13 years. What's key to getting that position locked down?
Well, I was pretty stern with my contract and with my discussions a year ago, and that didn't hold up. So I got to keep on working that. I thank Tequil for the work that he's done here. I thought he is a very good coach, good young coach, and I was pretty demanding that I needed at least a 2-year commitment out of that, and put a pretty large buyout on it. But some schools weren't afraid to write a check. You know what I mean? So I wish him luck. I do appreciate what he's done. I think he's a very talented young coach, and I wish him the best. It does, kind of hurt for our continuity that I am looking for. The great thing is I have some young guys in that room, and GAs, and some guys that are pretty impressive, that can easily handle it for now, and teach and, be on the same page, which is great. Bush has a strong background in receivers as well, coaching them, at the highest level, and so he could do quarterbacks and receivers and get them on the same page. But we have good coaches in there, and I'll find another good one, for that spot.
Very good. Nice. All right.
Thank you all.